On his return from Nuremberg, Maxwell Fyfe pursued these themes in papers and speeches.
There is in each of us a sundial factor of our mentality. We are inclined only to count the sunny hours. Moreover, after exhausting wars, men tend to suffer a weariness of mind. This lassitude can make them shrink away from facing the limitations of human nature. It can produce a facile skepticism about their evil deeds. New generations dislike reading the history of the gas chambers, and so the fact that men claiming to be civilized put millions to death in the gas chambers slips from history. Most people approach the subject of war crimes trials fundamentally either as a cynic or an idealist. This is, I think, because in essence the case for or against trying war criminals depends on that controversial subject which has become succinctly known as human rights. Your cynic says, human rights, there are none. Your idealist, however, takes the view that there are certain rights and freedoms, not created by lawyers, but to which mankind as such are heir and which cannot be alienated. It is a conception akin to the idea of the law of nature, which has had such a wide influence on relationships in past centuries, although now somewhat outmoded. The idea of fundamental human rights is one in which I firmly believe.
We have found safety with all things undying, the winds and morning, tears of men and mirth, the deep night, birds singing and clouds flying, and sleep and freedom and the autumnal earth. We have found safety. We have found safety. That's not for we have found safety. That's not for time's throwing. We have found safety. Blessed security. Who is so safe as we?
If our unfortunate generation has proved one thing, it is demonstrated that the barbarian is not behind us, but always underneath us, ready to rise up.
Deep night, morning, sleep and freedom. Deep night, morning, birds singing and freedom. Deep night, safety and freedom in the autumn. We have found safety and sleep and freedom. We have found safety. We have found safety and freedom in the autumn. Deep night, morning, sleep and freedom. We have found safety with all things undying, the winds and morning, tears of men and mirth, the deep night, birds singing and clouds flying, and sleep and freedom and the autumnal earth. We have found safety. We have found safety. That's not for time's throwing. It's not for time's throwing. We have found safety. Blessed security. Who is so safe as we? Who is so safe as we?
Sooner than he might have expected, Maxwell Fyfe was given the chance to put these ideas into practice.
There are warders
One day in 1947, Winston called me across the smoking room at the House of Commons and asked me if I would join the committee of the United Europe movement, of which he was chairman. I had always been anxious to do something positive after the part I had played in destroying the Nazi ideology, and I accepted with enthusiasm. I wanted to do something about human rights.
There are waters blown by changing winds. There are waters blown, stormy waters, blown by changing winds to laughter, and lit by the rich skies all day.
Our draft had at its basis security for life and limb, freedom from arbitrary arrest, freedom from slavery and compulsory labour, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, freedom of marriage, the sanctity of the family, equality before the law, and freedom from arbitrary deprivation of property. I was very anxious that we should get an international sanction in Europe behind the maintenance of these basic decencies of life.
There is safety shut in the dark tides of the world at rest. War knows no power, we are secure and blessed, unshaken and free, we shall stay. And after frost with a gesture stays the waves that dance, and wandering loveliness he leaves a white unbroken glory, a gathered radiance, with a shining peace under tranquil night.
Darling Mo, we are thinking of you and hope you are having a beautiful time. Pam and I have had a lovely day here and go on to Daddy this evening. Love and kisses from Mummy.
Mo, this is the place in which we meet and hold the Parliament of Europe. The room has the most fascinating tapestries. All the same, I wish I were in Sea View.
Darling Mo, this is the new assembly. I have marked Daddy's seat with an X. I hope you had a good journey. I had. Please give all at Sean my love. Love and kisses from Mummy.
I was elected chairman of the Legal and Administrative Committee of the Council of Europe, to which the question of human rights was referred. I made a speech in the main meeting in which I asked my colleagues to accept a system of collective security against tyranny and oppression. It was, I said, a simple and safe insurance policy.
Wherefore we will and firmly decree that the English Church
the Universal Declaration
shall be free,
approved.
and whereas the subjects of our realm shall have and
every
hold
organ
all
of society
aforesaid
should strive to secure
liberties shall be free.
Observance.
All aforesaid
should strive to secure
liberties shall be free.
Observance.
The Committee of Ministers have left out human rights, so we must try to get the Assembly to put it back. If the Council of Foreign Ministers do not take it after the Assembly has approved it, as I believe it will, we're going to have a magnificent row about the rights of the Assembly as well as the rights of man. I can't think what made the ministers reject it.
Rights and concessions,
Minded with a quiet heritage of
duly
ideals,
and in
political
peace,
traditions, and the
fully entirely. Wherefore we will and firmly decree all aforesaid liberties shall be free. Forever shall be free.
We have been tremendously busy. The Committee on Human Rights sat all Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday and this morning. After long debates, the committee satisfactorily agreed to the draft which Tegan and I had prepared, but it was very tense, as a very clever Belgian socialist called Rollin, who is president of their Senate, united with Thomas to kill off the idea of a court. The level of debate was very high indeed, but keeping discussions within bounds and then yesterday putting 14 resolutions required absolute application. All the Continentals are, however, very kind and complimentary about my presiding.
Darling Mo.
Wherefore we will and firmly decree all aforesaid liberties shall be free for themselves and theirs, from political democracy and our heirs and all manners in all places
Of human
forever.
on which they depend.